Hey there, you. It's Rachel, your friend and host of the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. Today, we're going to unwrap the gift of mistakes. Yes, mistakes. And explore how they can actually nourish our holistic health and well-being. And when I say holistic health, I'm talking about recognizing an individual as a whole person, the health of them as a whole person. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. I think by definition, it's also social and intellectual. So the person as a whole and all of these things combined. So think of the last time that you made a mistake, and I'll give you some time to think about that. If you are somebody who is in recovery from alcoholism, you may think about the last time you relapsed. I personally feel compelled to share that I am not a big fan of when people call it a slip when they relapse, because a slip for me is like diminishing the severity of relapsing. So a slip is almost like not acknowledging that it was a relapse. So anyway, I just think of that because this morning we were talking about slips in my meeting, and that's how I got on this topic of making mistakes. So, all right, have you got the moment in mind for your last mistake? Okay, so now instead of cringing about that mistake, let's talk about how that oops moment is really an opportunity in disguise. So I'm going to go through different aspects of how to look at your mistake, and we'll see what happens. So the first thing is reflecting and acknowledging. So mistakes are like those unwelcome guests at a party. They show up, and our first instinct is to hide them. It's embarrassing. We don't want anyone to know we have them. But once we actually sit down and chat with these new guests at the party, we actually learn that they have a lot of new, fresh insight, to add to the party. So that's what mistakes are like. Acknowledging and reflecting on our mistakes without judging ourselves is that unexpected good side of a mistake. So learning and growing. Each mistake carries a little nugget of wisdom. It's the part that's challenging is asking ourselves, what can this teach me? And maybe it's a skill gap, like I know when I was working, I really hated to admit that I didn't have the answer to something. But over the years, I realized how important it is to say I don't know. And it was when I pretended like I knew and I didn't that I would make mistakes. And so being kind of aware of what that mistake may be teaching you, a skill gap that you can bridge, or a chance to polish up part of your character. It's kind of like it's like turning on the light in a room that you didn't know was dark. It's like, why is it so dark in here? Oh, the lights are dim and turning the lights on. That's kind of like making a mistake. It's like, oh, I was kind of functioning with the lights half on. So, next would be self-compassion. So, it's of course important to sprinkle a little bit of kindness on ourselves, and self-compassion is something that we should always try to um, go back to and wrap around ourselves like a blanket. And it's about giving ourselves a break and understanding that it's part of being a human being to make errors, to make mistakes. And that is really where I think resilience is born. When we recognize this, we are kind and gentle to ourselves, and then we stand up and keep walking forward. When we're kind to ourselves, we can bounce back much faster and stronger than we were before the mistake. So, approaching mistakes with a growth mindset, seeing the challenges as kind of like a personal trainer who is pushing us to work harder, and we can handle it. They know that we can handle it. A lot of folks who say who have a belief in a higher power, I hear all the time, like, God wouldn't give me anything that he knows I can't handle. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. It's like a personal trainer at the gym where he knows he's not going to give you more weights than he thinks that you can handle, because he's a professional. He's not going to try to get you to hurt yourself. And same thing, like with this mindset, mistakes aren't as scary. It's something that sometimes may seem like it's a lot, but you can handle it and you're going to be stronger for it. So, implementing whatever changes, the lessons that are learned from the mistake. It's time for action. A lot of the stuff that I talk about, even when I was talking about surrendering, I keep going back to action. And it's important that, how when you're in school and if you had a good teacher, they would hand out the quizzes and you would go through all the questions, and she or he would talk about what the right answers were so that you can, and would actually explain why that was the right answer. That's kind of what we have to do with our mistakes. Like, make sure that we tweak, we change, we adapt to however we need to so that we don't repeat our mistakes. In sobriety, why did I relapse? Was it because I went to a wedding and I was around alcohol and it got me so squirrely and out of sorts that I ended up drinking? If that's the case, then you might want to consider not going next time. That maybe it's too early in your sobriety to attend something so significant and having alcohol around you like that. So making changes, setting new goals, tweaking habits, adjusting your sales, and it's all about just redirecting in order to, yeah, adapt to whatever lessons that you learned. Decision making. So these newfound insights will hopefully then, once we've acknowledged what mistakes we made and what the cause of the mistake, what the lesson is in the mistake, that these insights will spill over into when we make new decisions. And, if we made a mistake with somebody in a relationship, then taking that time to really think about what happened, what can I learn about this person, it's going to build a stronger relationship with that person, and can even strengthen the way that we handle stress. Recognizing when we need a little help. Once I identify why I made the mistake, what the lesson is in the mistake, don't be afraid to ask for a little extra help. If I need therapy, if I need to talk to a friend, if I need to do mindfulness practices, there's also a way to honor lessons from our mistakes in our community and our network. So it's about taking care of all of us and doing whatever it takes, right? Like I talked about yesterday, doing whatever it takes to really nurture our holistic health, the whole you. So I think that we can embrace our mistakes. I mean, I make mistakes all the freaking time, right? I've even been having dreams the past 2 nights about how I just can't even think. It's weird. I think that I'm obviously stressed out about the impact of my inability to remember things and um like explain myself and pick the right words and things like that. Like I know that I probably come across, I'm hoping, articulate in these podcasts, but I spend all day writing down what I need to say so that I don't have to think on the spot. Because when I think on the spot, I can't find the right words. And in my dreams, it's starting to come across. It's like when I stopped drinking, I had drinking dreams. When I stopped smoking, I had smoking dreams. And now I'm having these dreams that I can't think and I can't talk intelligently and or even halfway intelligently. So it's like mistakes are starting to overwhelm me because I'm making so many mistakes right now. And I have to learn, oh gosh, on the spot, all day long. I can't even tell you. It's more fingers than I have on my hand, the number of mistakes I make in one day, every single day. And what I have to do is get super, super humble and listen to what my boyfriend has to say about how can I do this better? How can I remember to do this? How can I adapt to this new way of thinking? Because I feel, quite honestly, stupid a lot. And I'm not used to feeling stupid. I've always prided myself for feeling intelligent. I actually would get pissed off at if somebody would come across speaking down to me like I wasn't intelligent enough. And these days I just don't feel that way. I don't feel um like I can a lot of times. So all of this is really coming together over the past few days to address some of this stuff, this surrender, this just mistake after mistake. Um, but I'm trying to talk through it. And as I do that, I'm hoping that it's coming across to you in ways that you can kind of reevaluate your mistakes. Hopefully, you're not making as many as I am on a daily basis, but it's okay. I mean, that's just what I guess cards I've been handed right now. And I'm just going to keep pressing forward. So, um, we have to learn from them, the mistakes, embrace them, be grateful for them, and we're really, with each mistake, we are renovating our whole selves for a better future and in order to live our best life. So go out there and make some mistakes, people. Time is a wasting. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.